Hello there. The liberal, lefty, purple-haired, plural theys and thems and their unholy alliance with the exploding demographic have had dominance in sympathy from our media and our political elites for far too long and have taken over our streets. But Britain is now regaining its identity, and the people are coming out of their front doors to make one last stand for this country and for their children and grandchildren's future, before it's too late. The UK is fast approaching a crossroads and must make a decision about which route it now wishes to walk down. But when making that choice, we need to look at the real root causes of our national problems and not get distracted by individual symptoms. The nation's citizenry is waking up to the fact that there is something rotten at the heart of our democracy, or so-called democracy. And the stench emanating from Whitehall and Westminster just gets a little more rank with every day that passes. And all the while the political uniparty politicians say that the cure lies in voting for them again. Because they will tell us that it is only they who can mend the broken. And this is where they insert one of the favourite topics into the strapline, like, we will mend the NHS, or we will mend our borders, or pensions, or potholes, or whatever your personal pet gripe is. They say they will mend it. When in truth the problems those pet items are suffering from are symptoms of a far greater malaise. A malaise that has developed over decades and runs extremely deep and is a cancer at the core of our nation, eating it away from the inside on physical, mental and spiritual levels. And part of that cancer is a form of national self-loathing. And from that flows the decline of a nation. How can those that quietly loathe their own country ever hope to build a good society within it? And this self-loathing is the result of the decades-long march through the institutions by the hard left. A hard left that sits waiting patiently within the Labour Party, ready to seize control at the first opportunity. And national decline is their goal, because they can then be the ones to step forward and say, we can save you, while they build their evil communist prison around us. Just remember that when the people of the UK were proud of their nation, the nation flourished, and that instilled more pride in the people, so creating a positive feedback loop. But somewhere along the line, maybe in the 1960s, we seem to lose our mojo as a nation, to the point we now ruminate excessively over external criticisms of who we are as a people. Take the whole slavery thing as an example. We're constantly lambasted for something that the UK, through the Royal Navy, just about eradicated hundreds of years ago. Also, the people of the UK are among the most tolerant in the world, but we are constantly bombarded with claims that we are intolerant, that we're racist, for example, intolerant of foreigners. And the fact we tolerate all of this actually proves how tolerant we really are, in fact how over-tolerant we really are. But that over-tolerance is now wearing thin, with the emergence of a movement that is bringing British culture back to the fore and taking it back into the heart of London, the capital of this great nation. And last Saturday's Tommy Robinson rally and the one planned for the 27th of July are themselves reactions to this cancer at the heart of our nation. They are a sort of immune system reaction to it, setting out to repair the damage. And the largest cause of this cancer is that we decided to reject our Christian heritage. In fact, it's worse than that. As a nation, we rejected Christianity itself. All our laws and customs were built around and from Christianity. But we have now removed the very faith that underpins the whole system, our whole society. We have removed it and replaced it with a combination of the science and a woke doctrine that our religious leaders have, in my view, wrongfully embraced. And we wonder why society's now crumbling. We wonder why morals are slipping and crime is increasing. While our establishment tolerates, on our behalf by the way, the rampant shoplifting and off-the-scale fraud. I bet our political masters view these as some form of deserved wealth redistribution. We have a choice to make, the Westminster way or our way. At the end of the day, our politicians replaced our Christian values with the values of me, me, me. We were told to let go of Christianity and believe in the science. The science will save us, they said. Has it really saved us? Even today in the Telegraph we read that a certain response to the health emergency may have caused a lot of excess deaths, maybe more than the threat it was meant to address. And that response was based totally on the science, as were the stay-at-home orders, with much of the relevant data being locked away from the sight of the public. Why, if the science and its scientists are the only way ahead and can be trusted? In fact, it seems to me that there are those out there who would use the science to imprison us. Net zero and central bank digital currencies spring instantly to mind. So I'm not sure the science without moral and spiritual underpinning is the only way ahead. In fact, I'm positively sure it isn't. I will point at the infected blood scandal. Lots of scientists involved in that one, and documents were deliberately destroyed to hide the truth and protect guilty people. And right now the authorities across the planet are engaged in covering up a rather more recent and much vaster scientific medical scandal than that one. Will there be a proper inquiry into this latest one? Probably never, given the sheer scale of it. The reality is that the science can be bought. And I'll end with something that Richard passed on to me. Just listen and see if this resonates. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with such people. Do you think there are more people like that in our society today than in years gone past? That passage comes from the Bible, 2 Timothy 3. Seems to ring true about our current social situation, doesn't it? The me, 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 now, now, now culture. The real truth is that we will not rebuild society by addressing the pothole symptoms. We have to relay the true foundations of our Judeo-Christian society. Nothing else has the strength to keep us together as a nation. Nothing.